Artificial Intelligence Dr. www.abcpharma.net/English. How does chronic inflammation of the vocal cords in laryngitis alter the sensitivity of the laryngeal nerves and contribute to cough reflex hyperreactivity? GPT-4o. Chronic inflammation of the vocal cords in laryngitis can significantly alter the sensitivity of the laryngeal nerves and contribute to cough reflex hyperreactivity. Here's how this process unfolds. 1. Sensitization of sensory nerves. 1. Inflammatory mediators. Chronic inflammation leads to the release of various inflammatory mediators such as cytokines, IL-1, Illinois-6, TNF-alpha, chemokines, IL-8, prostaglandins, PGE2, histamine, and bradykinin. 1. These mediators play a critical role in sensitizing sensory nerves in the larynx. 2. Prostaglandins and bradykinin. Prostaglandins, like PGE2, and bradykinin directly affect the sensory nerves by lowering their activation threshold. 2. This means that stimuli that would normally not provoke a cough can now trigger an exaggerated response. 3. Nerve growth factor, NGF. Chronic inflammation increases the production of NGF, which can promote the growth and sensitivity of sensory nerves, further contributing to hyperreactivity. 2. Neurogenic inflammation. 1. Substance P and CGRP. Sensory nerves release neuropeptides such as substance P and calcitonin gene-related peptide, CGRP, during inflammation. 1. These neuropeptides can further enhance inflammation and increase vascular permeability, creating a feedback loop that maintains and amplifies nerve sensitivity. 2. Nerve growth and remodeling. Persistent inflammation can lead to structural changes in the nerves, including sprouting of new nerve endings and increased expression of receptors that make the nerves more responsive to stimuli. 3. Altered ion channel function. 1. TRP channels. Transient receptor potential (TRP) channels, particularly TRPV1 and TRPA1, are involved in detecting chemical and physical stimuli. 1. Chronic inflammation can upregulate these channels on sensory nerves, making them more sensitive to irritants and thermal changes. 2. Sodium channels. Changes in the expression or function of sodium channels on sensory nerves can also contribute to increased excitability and spontaneous firing of the nerves, leading to a heightened cough reflex. 4. Central sensitization. 1. Spinal cord and brainstem. Chronic inflammation and persistent coughing can lead to changes in the central nervous system, including the spinal cord and brainstem. 1. This central sensitization results in an enhanced response to sensory input from the larynx, making the cough reflex more easily triggered. 2. Neuroplasticity. Repeated stimulation of the cough reflex can cause long-term changes in the nervous system, known as neuroplasticity, which perpetuate and amplify the sensitivity of the laryngeal nerves. 5. Epithelial damage and repair. 1. Mucosal barrier disruption. Chronic inflammation can damage the epithelial barrier of the vocal cords, exposing sensory nerve endings and making them more susceptible to irritation and mechanical stimulation. 2. Aberrant healing. Inadequate or aberrant healing of the mucosal surface can result in persistent irritation and a cycle of inflammation and nerve sensitization. Implications for cough reflex hyperreactivity. 1. Lowered threshold for coughing. Sensitized sensory nerves in the larynx respond to lower levels of stimuli, leading to a cough reflex that is triggered more easily and frequently. 2. Persistent cough. Even after the initial cause of laryngitis is resolved, the changes in nerve sensitivity and central sensitization can lead to a persistent cough that can be challenging to treat. 3. Increased cough reflex sensitivity. Patients with chronic laryngitis often report a heightened sensitivity to environmental irritants, such as smoke, dust, and strong odors, which can easily trigger coughing. Summary. Chronic inflammation of the vocal cords in laryngitis leads to the sensitization of laryngeal nerves through the action of inflammatory mediators, neurogenic inflammation, altered ion channel function, and central sensitization. These changes lower the threshold for triggering the cough reflex, resulting in cough reflex hyperreactivity. This process explains why individuals with chronic laryngitis often experience frequent and persistent coughing, especially when speaking or exposed to irritants. Understanding these mechanisms can help in developing targeted therapies to manage chronic cough in patients with laryngitis.